Hello, Dr. Webster again. Today we're going to talk about diabetes and diet. And again, I'm not an expert on diabetes. It just runs in my family, so I've been doing a lot of research. And I was very fortunate to marry a very nice lady who's also a doctor, Dr. Victoria. And she grew up cooking much differently than I did. I grew up in the South where every day is Friday, and and your food tastes good because you cook it a certain way. And she is from New England, and of course they look at things differently. And so I have just been so blessed to have her show me better things. And so she's like my chief advisor on what I should put in my mouth. But I've got an article here by a medical doctor, and she talks about what the diet can do for diabetes. So what food should be avoided with type 2 diabetes? Let's say you already are a diabetic, or it's in your genes like me and you don't want to get it. So there aren't many foods that you need to avoid entirely if you have type 2 diabetes. Well, that's good news. However, some foods are healthier choices, meaning they're richer sources of vitamins, minerals, and contain less fat, sugar, cholesterol. Fat, sugar, cholesterol. Okay, so the ADA, American Diabetic Association, recommends practicing portion control, and that's another big issue. Those of us who have healthy appetites, we don't like portion control. We want to eat as much as we want of whatever we want until we're full, and that'll get us in trouble. So portion control. Years ago they used to have these plates, and I still see them occasionally where the plates are compartmentalized. And so you want to look at doing that. Just train yourself to be satisfied with less, and that goes against some of our thoughts, but it's for our health, right? So foods low in cholesterol. That means avoiding foods that are high in cholesterol, such as red meat. Red meat is high in cholesterol. Egg yolks, high-fat dairy products. I love cheese. And other animal products. So foods, stay away from foods that are high in cholesterol. Secondly, foods low in saturated fat. That means cutting back on foods high in saturated fat, such as palm oil, coconut oil, red meat, chicken skin, high-fat dairy products, and other animal products. Again, there's good fats and bad fats, and we talked about this before, but you want to stay as close as you can to the omega-3 group of fatty acids and stay away from omega-6s. And if you just do a little research on that, you'll see what I'm talking about. And there's a whole lot of information, again, on PubMed about the types of fatty acids that are good for you and the types of fatty acids that are bad for you. And if you just do a search, you'll see what kind of foods contain it. And I'm reading that here. So foods free of trans fats, and that's what I just said. Avoid trans fats whenever possible. And then foods low in blood sugar. That means limiting sweetened drinks. And I keep harping on this. The best fluid to put in your body is water. If you put any other fluid in your body, most likely it has sugar in it, and most likely the sugar is processed, and it's not good for your body. And it just sets the stage for you becoming a diabetic, and it can also tend to cause you to have other diseases as well that we've talked about. Okay, so how does carb counting work? First of all, many foods contain carbohydrates. Let's just look at these foods. There's wheat, rice, and other grains and grain-based foods. There's dried beans, lentils, there's potatoes and other starchy. I grew up eating potatoes, but potatoes is full of carbohydrates, so you gotta watch that. Fruit and fruit juice, and like I said, fruit juice, I know the advertisers make it look so healthy for you and your children, but it's just so full of sugar. If you want to know how much sugar is in anything, whether it's a soft drink or can of beans, look at the ingredients. The most abundant ingredient is listed first, and then the second most abundant, and then the third most abundant. You'll be amazed when you look at the ingredients of something you're eating or drinking, how much sugar is in that, whatever you're eating or drinking. Just look at the label. Okay, and of course, processed snacks and foods, desserts, all that stuff. If it's been processed, the more it's been processed, the more likely it's not good for you. We need to eat. My wife used to talk about, we used to follow a gentleman, I forgot the name of it now, Nature's Garden or something like that. He was out of North Carolina, but he taught her and she taught me, the closer you can eat it to the way God or nature made it, the better off for you. The more it's processed and more things are done to it, the less likely it's going to be good for you. Now, a lot of people ask about the keto diet, and we do practice that. It depends upon, your food sources and everything. You always want to have the best food, and I won't go into a lot of details, but the keto diet is super, it's fantastic, but you always have to have a balance. Now also, your body, when your body gets into ketosis, it's like it burns the fat. And so that's always a healthy thing for us, those of us who need to drop a few pounds. And we know that being overweight or obese is going to set the stage for diabetics, to get it even worse. So look at a ketogenic diet, and again, I use this ketone powder to hack my metabolistic system. And so anyway, just whatever you want to do your research. Be careful what you put in your mouth, because what you eat matters. All right. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye bye.